Hello everybody, my name is Adrian and welcome to another episode of Lim Kopi Fridays with Adrian. Now, have you ever wondered if you secretly despise wealth? Now, it may seem odd at first. However, let's dive deeper into this topic and understand why some of us actually do that. Now, some people believe that money can't buy happiness. And if you think too much about wealth creation, about money, you may seem superficial. And they don't want to be looked at someone that is superficial, and that's why they started to distance themselves away from money, from wealth creation. Now, while it's true that money can't buy everything in this world, but money can solve money problems. And in 70% or 80% of our lives, most of our problems are related to money. Now, can you imagine if we have the ability to solve the money problems with money, we are only left with that 20 or 25% of the problems that we are facing on a daily basis that can't be solved with money. How relieved would we be if we are in that particular situation? And because of that, a lot of people can't find happiness because they keep thinking about money. And at the same time, they despise wealth. So it comes into a little bit of a dilemma here whereby they do not know where they stand. Now let's dive into this in a little bit more whereby, because it looks as though money can be an evil thing. Now if you use it for the wrong reasons. But if we were to separate money out with emotions, money can actually solve the money problems while we have to solve our own issues. So these are actually two separate things. And the second reason why some of us may despise wealth is that we may have negative experiences with wealthy individuals in the past. Now it could be someone that's wealthy that rebutted you, and somehow you feel very small or you feel left out. Now, if you really think about it, and if we try to segment out our emotions, the different layers, no matter if a person is wealthy or not, the personality is the same. While it's true that sometimes our personality may be molded or may be changed when we get to a different wealth status, but the underlying personality is the same. Of course, that can change, but it depends on individual, which is why a lot of us tend to tie in personality with wealth. And that is mainly because it gives us a reason to justify their actions. Or because they are wealthy, they behave this way. Now, isn't that an irony? Because any type of people can behave in a certain manner no matter what is their wealth status. So it is prudent for us to really, have a little bit of food for thought there, and to peel off the different layers of what we are thinking inside of us about wealth, about personality, and to separate the trauma that we may have with regards to handling wealthy people. Now, and the third thing is that there are a lot of social stereotypes about wealthy people. Now, if you look at some of the forums about car accidents, if you notice, there are a lot more hate comments when the car that is involved in the accident is someone who is driving. The particular car model is a branded car model. Like it could be a BM, it could be a Mercedes, it could be like a Jaguar. Yeah, but in general, people tend to associate that with bad behavior. But aren't we all too quick to judge based on that particular incident alone? And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people, they try to distance themselves from being wealthy, because they do not want others to judge them in the same way that they judge others. Now, if you really dive deeper into this, now isn't that irony again that we are berating others and we don't want others to berate us, and because of that we don't want to be in the same position as them? Now, how is that going to affect our lives? How is that going to affect our emotions. So now that we understand what some of these negative emotions can distance ourselves from wealth, what can we do to really move on from there? Now, the first thing that we can do, right, is probably to focus on ourselves. We don't want to focus on other people, because what others do, there's little chance that we can have a say in that. But we can have 100% say in how we feel and what we do. So the key thing here is to understand our personal emotions when we are going through some of these thoughts in our mind, and to attempt to really push them out a little bit and to focus on ourselves. Because by focusing on ourselves, we are able to see what is the problem that we are truly facing. Now, it could be a skill set issue. It could be the fact that we do not know what to do in our career, or we do not know what to do in our business. Or it could also be the fact that we have no one to guide us, or we have little knowledge in the things that we want to do. So by identifying some of these things that are related to us and not others, we are actually allowing us to peel ourselves, to understand a little bit more about what we can do, what are our shortcomings, and what we can do to improve the current situation. Why? Because if you know that your skill set is the issue, or your knowledge is the issue, then what we can do is we can acquire knowledge. If the motivation is the issue, we can speak to someone who is highly motivated. I'm sure many of us have friends and people who are highly motivated on a day-to-day basis. Of course, when they have their downtime, you do not know because usually they will not show one. Yeah. So sometimes this exchange of energy can actually help us to elevate whatever blockage that we have with regards to wealth creation. And the second thing is that after identifying the issues, we have to take the first step. Because if we do not take the first step, the ultimate goal may seem to be very far away. And it's human nature, where something is far away, is beyond reach, or is seemingly beyond reach, we will not do it. By staggering ourselves, by putting in mini goals, baby steps along the way that can bring us to the next level, that actually allow us to slowly grow at a pace that we are comfortable with. That's not to say that everyone have to be super wealthy, super rich, and be at the same place all at the same time. We have our path to take. Every one of us have different situations to take care of. Taking the first step might be a crucial step in ensuring yourself to reach the destination that you want to be. Now, and the last thing is that you got to believe in yourself, because a lot of times we start to have a lot of self-doubt, and that can happen even after we identify what's going wrong and we started to take a little bit of baby steps. But it is a journey itself, and along the way we can have a little bit of self-doubt. That's natural. The key thing is to not let self-doubt prevent us from moving forward. And because a lot of time, right, our thoughts and our actions may be different. What we think, what we say, what we do can be different. And many times, our thoughts that we manifest in ourselves are who we eventually become. So it's important to understand what you're thinking right now and to really tweak your mindset a little bit in order to bring yourself to the level that you really want to be. So I hope that with this, you are able to manage your emotions, tweak your beliefs about wealth creation, and to improve your financial status, to improve your financial standing to whichever stage that you want to be. I hope this helps, and see you in the next episode.